Welcome back to Feature in 5. We're still here with Cato. And so Cato, so far we've been talking about DR as a service, SRM, and showing what that looks like. We've had a failover from New York where we basically went into AWS Cloud. We spun up our environment. New York came back online. We were able to test and prepare for a failback over. I think the last thing we need to do is actually get back to New York. So
yeah,
why don't you show us that? Yeah.
So we're just going to, again, kick off our recovery plan. Just same process that we did before, except now we're going to select planned migration as opposed to disaster recovery. And the difference here is that if we experienced any problems while we were running, it would stop and give us a chance to fix those problems and then let us continue after that.
Also does a true up, right? To make sure that there's the latest, greatest changes, right?
Exactly. We're running through those same steps. We're going to synchronize storage. We're going to power off the VMs in the reverse order that we're going to power them on, synchronize storage again. All those steps, we're going to go through all of those, but we're just going to make sure that if there's any problems, we would stop right at that point, give you a chance to fix that, and then keep going. In this case, since we tested everything beforehand, everything works. Our recovery completed successfully, no issues. So now we're just going to run a reprotect again. This is just going to, again, reverse replication, reverse protection, get things pointed back to VMware Cloud on AWS from New York. So basically, at the end of this, we're going to be returned to the state that we were in when we started this whole process.
Absolutely.
So get everything set back to that. So again, all that's doing is just reversing replication, reversing protection. That's completed. And at this point, everything is back to where we were. So if we take a look at our environment, we see all of our VMs are running within our New York cluster. We take a look at our VMware Cloud on AWS cluster. We have our placeholder VMs for all of our VMs, so everything's protected again.
But I think if I remember correctly, when we did the initial failover, there was we had to actually do some bursting, right? We had to spin up more hosts on the AWS Cloud. So what do we do with that? Is there any cleanup for that?
So you can see actually right now we're going through the process of reducing the size of our cluster. So we're automatically removing hosts from that cluster. You can see those tasks running in the recent tasks window.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going through that process of removing those hosts. And if we take a look within our VMware Cloud on AWS console, we can watch as we reduce the number of hosts in cluster one. We don't need those hosts anymore. We're freeing up that capacity. We're freeing up those the resources, making those available. And we can do that in a couple of different ways. We could do that through elastic DRaaS, which will take a little bit longer, but would happen automatically. Or we can kick that off with a script as part of running our recovery plan. Just have it see that we're failing back away from VMware Cloud on AWS and just automatically reduce the size of that cluster.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so this is basically the same beautiful technology that we've had with SRM, but now we're using that to do from an on-premises environment into the cloud, but we're also adding the beauty of being able to burst on demand with the AWS, but we still get that testing, that reprotecting, that failover.
Yeah, all the goodness of SRM with all the goodness of VMware Cloud on AWS.
I like it. Cato, thanks for joining us. For this demo and more, be sure to go to storagehub.vmware.com.